Self when I need whatever makes you feel good. I'm starting the cocktailing already.
We ordered 2 glasses of wine to set up for us
Did
to
you?
give them to
Smart.
them.
Sylvia said hello.
Hi, Sylvia. Look how behind it always is. Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram. See? Hell yeah. We're downstairs. That's too funny. I gotta figure out who that is.
Lean over
Come up.
lean over the Wave if it's you.
What's up, guys? Wave if it's you. Alright. Let's get started. It's steak time. Alright, guys. Let's get started. Steak Pizzaiola. So, Steak Pizzaiola was formed because of the fact that somebody walked into a pizzeria one time and said, I want steak. Okay? So basically everything you see here is basically stuff that's normally on a pizza menu, and that you could zoom in on the wine just showed up. Okay? The lovely ladies doing the cameras say you guys should shoot each other at this point. They want some wine, so we let them have some wine. So basically, it's one of those dishes that was invented basically in a pizza oven, and then later on kind of just gotten a little better, and now we have this beautiful dish over here. All right, so bunch of parts, okay? Number one, your steak. I like to use ribeye for this. You're gonna see how I sear it after, but I really like ribeye for this dish. You can use New York strip, use a filet, use whatever you want. I just really like ribeye. This has been sitting out right now for about a half an hour. I like to get it really room temp. It's gonna make our searing process a lot easier, and when you go cut into it, it's not gonna be cold, okay? Amelia earlier asked me what this is, okay? So this, guys, this is what I like to use this is what I call our thermometer or a cake tester, okay? So the way you're supposed to do this, guys, is after we sear the steak, you're gonna check, and you're gonna basically enter it into the center of the steak, and then you're gonna take it out, and you're either gonna go onto your hand just like that to see if it's hot, or what I do is I go to the bottom of my lip, and if you burn the crap out of your lip, probably don't want to kiss anybody after that because it's gonna hurt, okay? So, I'm gonna put that down for now. So let's get everything prepped, all right? So let's start with all of our veggies because the rest of it after that is gonna go pretty fast. So let's start off first with our mushrooms, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take these Worcester mushrooms and I'm basically just gonna do a little shred, just like this, okay? Nothing too crazy, just a little shred, just like that. We have a lot of mushrooms here today. Ryan, the general manager, you could blame him for it. He went to the store and bought basically everything they had at Sprouts. All right, so we're gonna shred a little bit of these mushrooms, and you don't need to use a knife for this, guys. You basically use use your fingers. You don't have to use a knife. If you want to use a knife, you want to chop it up smaller, that's fine. You know, one of the reasons why Ryan probably bought all these mushrooms is because he hates mushrooms, and hopefully he comes up in a little bit and you'll get to see who Ryan actually is. He was on our TikTok recently, and we dressed him up as a spaghetti noodle. Okay.
And it flopped.
And it flopped royally. All right, so shred the rest of these up just like that. And that's basically all the mushrooms we need, guys. We have one steak. This steak will serve two, maybe with a little salad on the side. You don't really have to make too much of this, okay? Then let's go to our peppers, all right? So peppers, again, only need one of these. Basically gonna take your knife, cut the top off, okay? Cut the bottom off, cut on one side, so that you can basically expose all the seeds in here. And then with one knife, you basically want to run it like that as you're pressing down. And all you want to do, guys, is basically get rid of all the seeds so that there's your pepper and there's all your seeds, okay? So this gets discarded unless you want to save it and you want to make, you want to save some seeds for next year. And then what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to do, I like to do my mushrooms a little bit larger, and I like to do everything else relatively on the smaller side, okay? So we're gonna do some slices with this, just like this, all right? We're gonna do this guy, same thing. We don't throw out the tops just because the top's not as pretty. We still use it, all right? Just like this. And then we're gonna do the same thing with this guy here. Nice, thin slices. So again, if you go to chop this right now, you can see all of that liquid just came out onto my fingers. That's basically all the liquid in the peppers that has flavor. You wanna keep that in the pepper. The last thing you wanna do is leave that on your cutting board. All right, so nice thin slices going backward just like this. And do the same thing with this. You can cut that in half so you're not trying to use this big piece at once. Same thing. Nice backward slice, just like that. All right, careful, don't cut yourself, all right? Again, it's not a race. I've been doing this for 20 years plus, so I can go a little faster. But if you are sitting at home and trying to catch up right now, then catch up. We're gonna take our time for the rest of it, so please take your time and catch up, okay? All right, move that aside. We're gonna need that in a second, all right? Clean your cutting board up, clean your knife up. Now we're gonna do the onion, okay? This is a pretty big red onion. So we're not going to use the whole thing. We'll probably use half of this. Normally, we're used to using some smaller red onions, but we're going to use this big one. Only use about half. All right. Take that down. All right. Now, take this guy, cut it in half. All right. We'll set this aside for later. We can use that for something else. Take this. You want to peel your top layer, and if your bottom layer doesn't look too good, you can discard that as well. Like I want it to be nice and tender, these onions, so I'm gonna discard that other layer as well. So you have that onion just like that. Same thing for this, okay? First cut is a little bit on a diagonal, just like that. Okay? Kind of went in on an angle. Same thing. And then as you get closer to the top, you straighten out a little bit, right? So you're getting closer to the top. And again, guys, if you see in my cuts, it's not that cut, it's this cut, okay? You're slicing the onion, you're not chopping the onion, okay? There's reasons why I don't cry when I cook, and a lot of you guys probably do at home, okay? Same thing, slice your onions. All right, just like that. Set those aside, okay? Just like that. Now, let's work on everything else. So again, guys, what I like to do is I set everything up first, right? Set everything up first, and later you just cook it. You don't have to really worry about anything. So we're gonna chop everything up together. So now we're gonna do our garlic. Same thing, guys. Slice 2 cloves, just like that. Nice thin slices. These are relatively on the bigger side for garlic. These are the monster ones, probably full of GMOs, but we won't talk about that. And we go nice and thin, just like that, all right? We're gonna take that and move that aside. Then we're gonna take our herbs, all right? So parsley, just like that. We are gonna take that and then we're gonna roll it, just like we always do, okay? Some of you guys are gonna be better than the others because of your extracurricular activities outside of work. With your rolling skills, my rolling's bad because I don't do that stuff, all right? So again, nice and thin slices, just like this. So again, guys, we're going quick here, but kind of me showing that if the better you get at this, the faster this dish is gonna be. Because realistically, if you get this prepped up ahead of time, or even if you do it the night before, where you prep all your veggies and cook it, this is a 20-minute dish, right? It doesn't take long at all. A lot of the Italians like to cook this dish for an hour. I like my steak mooing when I have it, so I'm gonna cook this to about a medium rare, right? Same thing, we're gonna take a couple of these basil leaves because we're gonna add these in at the end. And you can do the same technique, all right? So basically you're gonna roll them in each other. Make sure you don't have any stems. Whoever picked these should be fired. We're gonna put that in just like that. See, she thinks I'm funny.
I giggled.
Brian, she laughs.
Say hi to Brian.
Brian, what's up, man?
He's watching.
You're watching from downstairs? All right, here, same thing, guys. Slice your basil, do not chop your basil, okay? You rolled it up and now you're slicing it, all right? You don't roll it up and smoke it, that's something else. You're gonna roll this up and slice it, okay? Just like that. All right, now move that aside. So you can mix those together because those are gonna go in together at the end. Now, basically all your prep's done, right? So now let's build this dish, okay? So as you're going, obviously I'm big on cleaning up because I don't like to be sloppy as we go. So a lot of people ask, how do we get our steak to be seasoned so well? And I'm gonna show you, okay? First things first, when you're seasoning steak, you basically wanna season it, right? You're not, when I go shopping, my steak doesn't come seasoned, all right? We have to season it.
Dana said hello.
What up? Hey Dana, sorry I was supposed to come, but I didn't come, I apologize. All right, saute pan on high heat, okay? Get a little bit of oil in there, you don't need a lot, all right? Very little. Now let's season the steak. Now a lot of you guys again are gonna say, holy shit, I can't believe he's putting that much salt, but trust me, you need to, okay? You basically don't wanna see any meat. You just want some salt on there. You're gonna want this, that's a lot of meat there and you need it to be seasoned, okay? Same thing here, good amount. Just like that. Now, we season with pepper. I don't like to use pepper on much, but on my steaks, I do like to add some pepper to it. Same thing, a decent amount. Flip it over. Same thing. Now, a lot of people ask, why do I add so much salt? Well, what's gonna happen is when I go to sear this, a lot of the salt's gonna come off, right? which means that my pan's gonna be more seasoned than my steak. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't wanna eat my pan, I wanna eat the steak. So take it like that, make sure you get all that salt on there, and again, let that sit for a second. As this is getting hot, you're gonna see how we're gonna start this sear. This is gonna require, obviously, a lot of time in the kitchen. I've 20 plus years. So this next thing, you probably don't wanna do at home, but I'm gonna show you how I do it, all right? So basically what I do is I start the searing process on the fat cap, okay? This is where the fat is, and I don't want all that fat, because the one thing I hate the most about steak is that grizzliness to it. So basically you're gonna enter this here, and you're gonna stick your hand on top. Now, if you're at home, and you're burning yourself, take your hand off, all right? Use some tongs. But again, my hands are basically cinder blocks at this point, and I have no feeling anymore. I actually have very soft hands, I'm lying. Hi, Odds. That's my aunt. She just came to visit.
Real Estate Jojo said she just ordered some mahi from Whitehall.
I think that's smart, Joe. I love that mahi dish, man. That's my cousin Pat's dish. He's the chef over there at White Bull. And that dish is amazing. Really, really good.
You've got the classic Italian grandfather
I do. This stance right here is like what I've tried to make happen over the years. This is the stance, right? This is that Italian grandfather stance, like the don't fuck with me stance. This is it right here. All right. All right, so this is going. It's starting to sear off. All right, we're gonna let it go a little bit longer, and you'll see in a second. Like, so basically, right now, this steak is stuck to the pan. Right. Once it releases, is when you know you're ready to move this meat. Okay. And again, if you're burning yourself, I apologize. You kind of have to deal with it if you want it to taste good. All right. Just don't sear your fingertips. All right. So it released, so you can see how it's seared. All right. A little bit more on that side. Now, take the steak off for a second. Add a little bit more oil, because now we want to sear the rest of the steak, all right? But you can see, if you look at it, I didn't use much oil to begin with, and now there's a lot of fat in there, right? Even before I added it. That was the rendering of that fat. That's the most key part, okay? Now, again, oil away from yourself. Add the steak in. All right, and this is gonna take some time, guys, because we want to really create a sear. All right, I made a mistake a couple weeks back, and I got invited to Carmen's house, and I didn't get the pan hot enough. You can zoom in. And he didn't eat my steak, so I took offense to it, all right? So now I'm gonna make this right for him, okay? All right, high heat and let it go. So now we have a little bit of time we're gonna clean up, right? So we can't use this one again because it had raw meat on it. All right, we're done with our mushrooms, we're done with our basil. We'll use a little more salt because why not, right? We're done with our pepper. We're done with all this stuff, so all this stuff can move over. All right, all we should have at this point is a little bit of butter, because I like to melt butter and everything at the end, and all your veggies, all right? So one of the techniques I like to do to get an even caramelization is I actually move the meat in the pan, all right? So I start off with a sear, I don't touch it, and then I start to move it around. You'll see it's gonna have an even caramelization, and you can already see the fat in the pan's basically already doubled since I did it. Now, if you come a little closer and zoom in, here's some of that salt. Right? It's stuck on the bottom, right? Because, yeah, the minute you sear it and you put it down, a lot of that salt comes off. That's why we season it so well, okay? We're gonna take it real quick and take a look and see where we are on sear. We're getting there, a little bit more. Let it sit for a second. I'll take a sip of my Negroni, halfway done, and I apologize.
Cheers.
I'm gonna share it with you guys. Salud. Cheers.
Too late.
Oh, it's empty, we can't cheers, it's empty. Where's Ryan? You don't come upstairs and check on you? See if we need another cocktail? Not at all.
That's why I go to White Bull.
That's it. Oh, man. All right. Give that another second. We'll check that again. Now we're starting to get a sear on there. You can see it. A little bit more. Now, guys, this meat's pretty thick, right? So I literally could cook this on this side 4 minutes, and it'll still probably be a basic medium rare. Smells great, Chef. Ryan, what up, my man? All right, a little bit longer. And then we're gonna flip this guy over, all right? Then we're gonna take it off and start building our sauce. Sauce takes a little bit of time, so we're gonna, you know, take our time doing it, because it's not a race, right? All right, now, same thing, move the oil to the bottom, flip it over. See the sear on there? All that right there, that's all the natural sugars in the steak. All right, that's how you get that beautiful color there. High heat, you're not doing this on a low heat. All right, let that do its thing. Take a little bit of time.
Where are we tonight, and where can he buy this steak?
All right, so we're at Grana. You can't buy this steak on the menu. You got to ask for this. All right, this is one of those things where I'll do it if you ask for it. We always have a steak on the menu at White Bowl, but it's not a pizzaiola style. But this dish was upon request 99% of the time. If you want it, I'll make it for you. All right? All right. So you can already see how much fat is rendered off into the pan already. We didn't add that much fat, but this is all coming from the ribeye itself, all right? Because the ribeye is a fatty cut of meat. All right, a little bit longer. So we're actually going to get rid of a little bit of this fat because we don't need all that in the pan. A little bit more. Almost there. Now we're going to get this incorporated into the rest of that fat that's there. Just like that. 10 seconds.
What's your favorite cut of steak?
I'm a New York strip guy, bone in. I'm not a really huge ribeye guy just because I'm not a fan of all the gristle and the fat that's in there. But I'm normally a New York strip guy. So, again, look in the pan. That's all the salt and pepper that was initially seasoned on there, okay? So now it's off the pan. So we're gonna get rid of this fat because we don't want to use that, all right? Move that aside. Then we're gonna add a touch more extra virgin because I only cook in extra virgin, that's it. And now the rest of this is gonna be done in stages, okay? First things first, we go mushrooms, okay? Sear off your mushrooms. Season your mushrooms. Look who joined in. Look, Steven. That's Covino 11 joined.
Oh,
Hey,
really?
Man, yeah. Hey, dude, listen, man. You know, Carmen. Zoom in on Carmen. Zoom in on Carmen.
We're still waiting,
man.
Steven.
We're waiting. We need you to get this down, bro. You joined too late. All right? Robert Ryan. That steak looks just about as delicious as you. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you, my man. All right. Move the mushrooms around a little bit. All right. We're gonna add a touch more oil because these mushrooms like to soak up all of the oil that we put in the pan. All right. Move around a little bit. Get a little bit of color. That's all we're looking for because then we're gonna braise this in the sauce. All right. All right. Quick saute. We already salted it. Good. Move that aside. All right. Now, next step. We're gonna do onions and garlic. All right. And then we're gonna add the peppers, and then we'll do peppers at the end. So onions first. Just like that. All right, onions first, a little bit of garlic, touch of salt. I'm gonna let those cook down a little bit, right? So on these guys, you're gonna lower your heat a little bit, not a lot. Off there. Steven, pay attention, man. It's all in the wrist. Look. All right? All in the wrist. Poor bastard's going to be like, I can't watch you guys on here. You're making fun of me. All right.
Meg said she likes your style with the chunks of garlic.
Thank you.
And Mark said, don't worry, bro. Nothing is as delicious as you.
Oh, I appreciate it, Mark, man. Thank you, bro. A lot of bromance in this chat, I've noticed today. All right. Saute this guy up. All right, now we're going to add the peppers, all right? Peppers
Bryce
go in.
said that his kids said to tell you this is so cool to watch. Now they want steak.
Dude, come by the restaurant. I'll make you one real quick. I got one more in the walk-in. All right, saute it a little more. Now we're gonna let this cook, right? It's gonna take a little bit of time. It's gonna take about 6 minutes maybe. Cook these down. So the way this recipe comes out, guys, is after this is done, there's a good amount of veggies in here, and that's what I wanted, right? So if you wanted to add a little bit of salad to this later on, and you wanted to do this in a salad, that's plenty. You know, one person can eat the steak by themselves. You can get a second one for another person. It's up to you. You can split it. It's up to you. Depends on how hungry you are. All right. All right, so we added the peppers and we haven't seasoned the peppers yet, so we're gonna go a little bit more salt here. All right, so a little more salt, and then we're gonna add the smallest amount of chili flakes. These chili flakes we have at Grana right now are super hot, so we're not going with a ton. All right, let that cook. Guys, now's a good time for questions since we have a little bit of time. So if you have any questions, just ask me, all right? Got a little nub of butter in here. They didn't do this in Italy, but I do, because we're not in Italy right now. Except for if you try to come to the restaurant and order fucking Alfredo sauce, and that's a no. Sorry, kids who's watching. Watch our TikTok, you'll see our answer.
Yeah.
So if you can't do this movement, obviously use your tongs. But if you want to, go ahead. If you drop shit on yourself and burn yourself, don't blame me.
What's the secret to the...
What's the secret to the saute pan? So the saute is, it's years and years of practice, right? So one of my first bosses, his name is Corey, he's actually my first boss. He used to make me do it with beans. He used to tell me for every bean I dropped on the ground, I owed him $1. So I handed him a 20 and said, hey, this is basically what I feel like I'm gonna drop overnight. And then over time, I got better and better and better at it. But basically, it's all in the wrist, so it's literally a flip and pull back. So it's a flip and pull. I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to explain, but it gets easier as you try it. All right, a little bit longer on these guys. We already did our seasonings, so we're gonna check to see how they taste. Maybe more salt. Sugar onion. Jesus Christ. More salt. Don't be afraid to season your food. Also, don't over season, because we could also check later. And if you over season, you can't take it away. These are all terms that my chefs over the years have said to me, normally with a lot of F-bombs and some screaming and even a couple saute pans being thrown at you, but obviously I can't do that. These lovely ladies here won't appreciate that.
Rye said, can you do the flip the other way, the front flip?
What kind of flip do you want me to do? Bro? You want me to throw it in the freaking air? What do you mean? What other flip do you want? Backwards? No, dude. Front flip only. I'm not a backflip type of guy. All right. A little bit more on these guys here. We want these peppers cooked down a little bit. So let's look what's happening underneath the pan here. See this right here? All that right there, that's caramelization, right? See how I start to pull that away and it almost starts to pull away like caramel? That's all flavor we're gonna want later, okay? Don't worry about that now. It's not gonna burn, I promise. All right, a little bit longer. I don't wanna serve raw peppers to anybody. Not gonna hurt you, but I want this to be good. Carmen's watching and I want him to make sure he enjoys the steak, all right? All right, so now, white wine, okay? Off the heat, because you don't want to catch anybody on fire. Off the heat, decent amount of white wine here. And now we're gonna cook this until it's dry, okay? Basically all we want is the sweetness from the wine. We don't want any of the wine flavor in here. All right, and now is a good time to go back and start scraping up the bottoms because that's all flavor there. All right, so go underneath, just like this. Start scraping that up, all right?
Grits and Greens says hello.
Who knows?
Grits and Greens.
Dude, what up, my man? All right, let that cook down.
We're all out of drinks.
I know. Ryan's not doing a job. What do you want me to do?
We need a bell.
All right, let that cook. Turn this guy on high. All right, because we want to reduce this liquid. And then the rest of it's actually pretty simple, and you're gonna see what we're gonna do in a second. Just give it a second. So your steak right now is at a beautiful rare, and we're gonna up cook it to about a medium rare in a second. You'll see what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually cook it right in the sauce. good. That's what's good, dude.
Yeah, so good.
It's like I do this shit for a living, you know? Alright. Let it cook and leave it alone. In another sec, we'll add the mushrooms, we'll add the tomato, we'll do all that stuff, but it needs a little bit of time, alright? We don't want to rush perfection, okay? It's like me, I get better as I get older, alright? That's it. Alright, what's up, my man? What's up? We're dry. No wine, no Negroni. Zoom in. This is the guy that got all the freaking mushrooms. Alright? That guy's handsome, though. No, I don't need anything from you. I just need a cocktail, please. I'm a Carmen, poor guy. Look at this guy. The guy don't even have water. My God. All right. Cook this down a little bit more. We're almost there. You can see it's still got liquid down there. We want this to be dry, all right, before we do anything else to this. All right. Move that around. All right, another second or two, and then we're gonna start adding this tomato, okay? We're running out of steam here.
Do you have another?
Yeah, I got it. Killing the game. I'm trying, Davis, man. I'm trying to, my man. Trying to change the world, do one dish of pasta at a time.
Quinn said it looks so good.
Quinn?
Quinn.
Quinn, what up, Quinn? And we miss you very much. Come back, please. All right, a little bit more. Again, we want that to be super dry.
A basil one.
Same.
What did you say? Aren't you like 12? Is that what you said? Jesus Christ. All right, almost there. A little bit more. Cook this down just a touch. All right, let's see how this tastes now. With my bougie tweezers here. Okay. Carm, it's like I do this shit for a living.
I'm telling you. I'm impressed.
Dude, me too, man.
He needs to be your taste tester.
He will be. Almost. I really want this to be dry, guys. A little bit longer, right? Another, hopefully 30 seconds. More salt. East Louisiana needs some decent restaurants. I agree. For sure it needs restaurants. Unless you go to New Orleans, then obviously they got good restaurants. So. All right. So that's dry, right?
Steven said Carmen is there?
Yeah, dude, come on, man. They show up, you don't come, dude. I invite you all the time. I said, get front row seats, learn how to make this stuff, invite us over, you know? All right, so guys, I'm using passata, okay? So this is basically just a puree of tomato, all right? Organic only, obviously. You can use the pomodoro sauce you already have in the cupboard, but please don't use ragu or any kind of jarred sauce for the love of God. This is basically like a pureed tomato, okay? So we're gonna add a decent amount of this in here.
Shout out Sprouts.
Sprouts. All right, good amount of pomodoro in here, or passata, whatever it is that you're using. What do you say? I want to see him?
He said, let's see him.
There it is. All right, so that's doing its thing. We're gonna turn this down, okay? Turn that down a little bit. Pomodoro is gonna do its thing. It's already hot, basically, because we had that pan steaming. We're gonna add the mushrooms in. All right. That's all the juice from the steak. You don't want that to go anywhere to waste. Then you can put your steak right inside and you're gonna cover it with all this goodness right here, right?
Can you make your own passata if you can't find it?
Absolutely, guys. It's very easy. You take some tomatoes, you boil them first, all right? You get basically all of the skin off. After you boil them, you shock them in ice water. You get the skin off. After you get the skin off, you take it and you puree the tomatoes. Super simple. You kind of want to use this old school machine that the Italian women used to use, or they still use, where it separates the seeds from everything else. You don't want seeds or skin in there. It's the most important thing. All right?
Dana said she wishes she could smell it because it looks so good.
It is good, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to taste it right now. That passata's still a little cold and raw, but still good. All right. Kick up that heat again, because I want that to come to basically a ripping boil here, and then we'll turn it back down, all right? So now, I added this on top because now the heat from the sauce and the heat from everything else is going to cook the steak from the top and the bottom at the same time, all right? And again, the Italians like to leave this in here, going for about an hour and throwing it in the oven. I don't like my steak overcooked like that. And they also use probably cheaper cuts. I could see them using like a hanger or something else, even something maybe with like an eye round or a London broil. I don't really recommend that. I like my steaks to actually have flavor and not basically be shoe leather. So we're gonna do it this way. All right, so now let's take our first look here, right? Cake tester. All right, let's show you how to do this. Let's get some of this stuff off. Here's your cake tester. You insert on the side into the steak. Count to 5. Wipe bottom of your chin. So right now it's warm, which means that this is a medium rare. If it was a little hotter than this, it's a medium. If it's any hotter than that, it's fucking shoe leather, and you don't want to eat that shit, okay? So unless you're my father and you eat everything well done and burnt to a crisp, and you know, because that's how he says the real Italians do it, but I don't agree. That's how you do it. So we're gonna check it again another second or two, because I really want this sauce to reduce down now. Because I don't want this swimming in sauce, guys. I want to spoon this over the top at the end, all right? I'm not a fan of anything swimming in sauce ever. I don't like that look. To me, that's very rustico, or as I like to call it, lazy, okay? Which we don't want to do. All right. Now that the steak's cooked in that sauce and it's got some beautiful flavor in there, I take the steak out, all right? Let it rest. We're gonna finish this up now, the sauce. Again, guys, lots of veg, but we did that on purpose, all right? Get all your herbs, all of it, throw it in there. You want this to have some flavor now, right? All those herbs in there. Switch to a spoon. Get all that herb mixed in. All right, a few flips. Now let's see how this tastes. It smells delicious. Hard.
I'm telling you.
You'd be proud,
Smell it
my
from
man.
here.
All right, a little more salt. Guys, that's Nick. He's delivering the cocktails. He's also one of the managers here. He's the one that keeps us hydrated. All right, a little bit more. Cook that down just a little bit.
Someone asked, beautiful, where can we find the recipe, and what would you call it if you added olives?
So guys, so this is the thing, right? So a lot of people change these up, right? So if I add olives to this is more of a cacciatore to me.
Yeah.
If I do add olives to this, I'm not, you could, it's fine, add olives. I mean, it's however you want to do it, right? For me, this is how I like it. You can easily add olives. The other thing is, where could you find a recipe? Tomorrow, Amelia is going to post it on YouTube, all right? And if it's not, you can yell at her, not me. But no, she's really good at it, so she'll make sure it's posted. All right. Give this one more taste now that I added the last little bit of butter. All right.
Yum.
Looks good. All right, let's taste it. We're gonna get some veggies in here this time. I always smell my food first. I don't know why, I just do. But I mean, I like the way it smells already, so. All right, good. Oh, really good.
What
All right.
kind of Italian wine should I be drinking with this?
So, with this, because this is a Napolitan dish, I would highly recommend you do something from Campania, Basilicata, or Puglia. Primitivo would be good with this, or go with a really, really high-end Aglianico, or even a Terrassi would match up to this. I would stay away from whites for sure, and I would stay away from that shitty grape called Pinot Noir, and I would also stay away from the fucking French, okay? Because they don't deserve to eat that shit. All right, turn that off. All right, that's done. We're gonna take our steak, put it on your cutting board. All right, all this right here you want to throw back in there. You don't want to lose any of that. All right, you want to slice it, slice. You don't want to slice it, don't slice it. I'm gonna slice it because we're all gonna eat, okay? Just like that. Super sharp knife. Perfect medium rare. All right, take that knife underneath on your plate. Okay, now I like to finish with olive oil because I like that earthiness, I like that greenness it's gonna add to it, plus I like how shiny this is gonna turn, all right? It went from a dull to a shine, just like me. All right. And then
You're
you're gonna take
always
this, guys.
shiny.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, my forehead mostly. I know it's bad, guy. I just shaved my head. All right, spoon over the top, just like that. Now you could easily take this, serve it over some chicken for tomorrow, but you know, let's fucking eat it, right?
How long should they rest the steak?
Guys, I like to let it rest for half the amount of time I cook it, right? So I cooked that steak for about 8 minutes total, so I rested it for about 4 because it's medium rare, right? Any more than that, you're ruining the dish, right? Oh, good. All right, now, because we're not animals here, we like to clean up our plates, right? And then the final touch, guys, I like to see the olive oil run, especially how good this steak is gonna be. So a good amount of olive oil on top. Guys, that's it. Steak Pizzaiola, steak in the pizza maker way. Absolutely incredible. We're actually gonna taste it on air for the first time ever. Carm, you gonna do it for me? Get in here. Can I feed you?
Sure,
Let me feed you. Here, on. I'm gonna use these bougie tweezers. I'm gonna take a piece out and I'm gonna cut it a little bit smaller. I'm not trying to kill you. All right. Steven, this is how you do it. Pay attention, all right? All right. Take a nice piece of steak. Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, hold on. Let me get it all for you. Nice piece of garlic. Look at this. This is how we do it back in the old days in New York City. We use these tweets. It takes about 45 minutes to plate the fucking thing. By the time it's done, it's fucking ice cold. But at least it's gonna taste good. Let me find you a mushroom. I'm colorblind. Let me find you a mushroom. Hold on. All right, wait. Now I gotta open these up.
I need an onion. Hold on.
Hold on. I got you an onion right there.
All right, okay.
Oh, let me blow it for you. All right, get in here. Ready? Man. It's all right, right? Not bad. Delicious. Good? Good.
That's amazing.
Guys, super simple. Again, takes a little bit of time, but if you prep it ahead of time, it's good, right? Not bad. Prep it ahead of time. It won't take that long. It's absolutely incredible. We're gonna finish this now. Again, these lovely ladies are doing all the work, and one of my favorite ladies in the world, Linda, right there. We're all gonna get to enjoy this now, okay?
Can you make a pizza out of this dish?
Absolutely, guys. I'm not a huge fan of steak on a pizza, but you can. Why not? You can basically put anything on a pizza. Just no Alfredo sauce, okay? Please. All right, guys, enjoy it. Hope you guys made it at home.